Chelsea, just after the 10th minute mark, find themselves a goal up in their first game of the Women's Super League of the new year. And it was a terrific finish by Katarina Macario, who gets her first goal for the Blues. Terrifically done. First time finish with the side of her left foot. But props to Erin Cuthbert there as well, who managed to keep it alive in the West Ham penalty area and just had a deft, silky touch in the air towards Macario, who chose the first time hit. And what a choice that was. West Ham now a goal down. After good defensive work, you did feel like Chelsea were going to conjure up an opening at some stage. But of course, games like this, you sometimes feel more of a bonus, considering how formidable Chelsea have been this season and in general. Just absolutely relentless. To have won 5 Women's Super Leagues in a row, and you've got the likes of Manchester City and Arsenal below them and challenging them to just keep that level above. Shows how clinical they can be. 32 goals for the season, and it's Macario's getting her first goal. Here's the number 33 in the meantime. Can they make it 2? Beaver Jones slotting it across the face of goal towards Macario, who had been on a brace. She could have got that in a couple of minutes there. Quite easy from the defending Shalina Zadorsky, allowing Beaver Jones to beat her on both occasions there. But West Ham with the short goal kick. So they look to try and get an unlikely equaliser. We've really only been looking to our right so far. But now we start to look to our left, but that pass just behind the run of Kirsty Smith, as they tried to play it in field, but already the West Ham fullback was making that attacking run. Slightly too eager there. But they take the throw quickly as Smith tries to get stuck in. Una Siren is there as well. They allow it to bounce, and Chelsea look to maybe come away with the ball. But now West Ham trying to play it down their right channel as Bright clears it away, and fortunately for her, it comes off a West Ham player and out for a Chelsea goal kick. Of course, Rhian Skinner only making the one change since that game against Aston Villa. Clearly happy with the bulk of players she's got at the moment in the starting lineup. Only 2 injuries for West Ham so far that see them out at the moment. Of course, Kirsty Mewis and Ziu, both with a calf and knee injury. That's keeping them on the sidelines. However, for Chelsea, of course, they've got 7. But at the same time, plenty of depth they possess as they look to come again down the left, and they get another corner, the first one on that far side. And they've looked fairly dangerous from corners. Haven't had any chance to get a shot on goal, but the deliveries have been good enough. You can just see Cuthbert and Aggie Beaver Jones on the edge of the area, and then Bright and Björn amongst the players around that 6-yard box as Bright looks to attack it, but it's just over her head. It's kept alive by Baltimore. And now there's some defending to do for Katrina Gorry. Room on that left-hand side as it's threaded towards that back post, and it's flicked on. The shot on target from Natalie Björn as Kinga Schmemick comes down to calmly collect that. Routine for the West Ham keeper. But perhaps she's just sustained some cramp here in the meantime. which may mean she might need to see some medical attention. Here we see again. It was a good header. In fact, it was the number 7 by the looks of it, actually. Mayra Ramirez, who flicked it goalwards. Of course, Björn was in close proximity to her, but as you can see, Rianne Skinner having a little team talk with her side. Just about what they need to do to withstand this Chelsea pressure and to stay in the game. These games, of course, albeit a bonus, you still want to try and keep it at 1-0 if you are pegged a goal back for as long as possible. If you're unable to score in the meantime, as it then allows you to stay in the game, and there's always a chance that you could come away with something. They just wouldn't want to see this get away from them too soon. And in the first half as well, with a long time to go, there's a lot for West Ham to think about. There they are, the powerhouse of Chelsea, having their team talk in the centre circle. They've been there and done that. They understand these types of games as well when they go away to places and often have the pressure of being the favourites, but also having that pressure of the other side being so up for it that they have to be on the top of their game every game to ensure they get the 3 points. They're extremely good at unlocking defences, and they've done that already this afternoon. Of course, the only side that stopped them from getting all 3 points were Leicester. They've had a lot of cup games recently as well, Chelsea. 3 Champions League fixtures in their last 7 games. So a hefty schedule, which is why they have more players than most at their disposal. And of course, it must be tough as well for West Ham, albeit they must have been training, and there is the break for the Super League and the women's game in English football. Still, not to be able to play in that time. They would have had a chance against Liverpool last weekend, but here come Chelsea in the meantime. Good defending from West Ham, but it's another corner for Chelsea. So you can just see threaded in behind. Of course, Amber Tisiak had the choice to either go in and put pressure or maybe just hold off and wait until she broke into the penalty area, but she did the job well. So another corner, close to double figures in corners for Chelsea. Can they make this one count? Once again, it's towards Bright. Beaver Jones has a pull at it. And then it's scurried away once again. Another corner for the away side. They look to take it quickly. Cleared away. Here's Baltimore again. Now Cuthbert tries to turn around the West Ham player, but in doing so, West Ham give away a free kick, and it's Vivasei. I think just fouled her. No, it wasn't. It was Una Siren. Of course, there was a cluster of West Ham players in and around Erin Cuthbert, and we saw a tricky feat and good skill so far this game, where she got the assist. And once again, we see it there, which has led to this free kick. So, Cuthbert just outside the D area. You've got Baltimore and Ramirez in close proximity. It will be a strike from distance, and it's just past that near post. Looks to be no touch off a West Ham player. But it was a clean strike, and it dipped at the right time. But just unable to find the side netting. Fortunate for West Ham as they're let off following that foul. But are they going to be let off here as Cuthbert pulls the trigger? And Chelsea find themselves 2 goals up after the 20-minute mark. About 10 minutes on from their first goal. And it's the player that got the fantastic assist for Chelsea's first that gets their second. A poor goal kick. Switching off there as Schmemick lobs it over to the midway point of the West Ham half. And then Cuthbert sees an opportunity, and Schmemick, it's questionable positioning as well in the West Ham goal. Too far to her left, which just had so much room to her right, which Cuthbert saw. And before West Ham could do anything about it, she struck it low. Didn't even need the power, as the space and precision was there. And West Ham at home are starting 2025 off in a fairly damp way. Of course, the opposition is a fierce one. But West Ham will be disappointed, as that's a sloppy goal to concede. Albeit a good strike from Cuthbert. The goal kick wasn't taken very well, and then the positioning too just allowed Cuthbert to make the most of that. And it will be a Chelsea throw after West Ham felt they should have had one. Back to Bright, as she sends the ball forward. Unable to find a Chelsea player. So it will be back in West Ham territory. Schmemick again. Better distribution that time as she plays it out towards Anouk Denton. But once again, West Ham being caught playing out from the back, and Chelsea just instantly get bodies forward. Look at Bronze running forward too. Here's Cuthbert. She plays it safely back to Björn. As Chelsea just being smart there. Of course, plenty of bodies getting forward. It can be tempting to play it forward instantly. But they just wanted to keep the ball rather than potentially lose it by forcing it forward when they had the opportunity. But now West Ham try to bring it forward themselves. It will be a throw-in as it's taken quickly. Smith. That's a sloppy pass back to Chelsea. Cuthbert on the turn. Playing it back to Millie Bright. Bronze. Looking up. Managing to beat Denton. And then sending in a dangerous ball just over the target. But it's kept alive by Baltimore. And Schmemick makes a smart save as she parries it away from her goal. Out for a corner. But look at the ball hung in there by Lucy Bronze. Just an inch or so too high for Mayra Ramirez. But then Baltimore fancied her chances from that left-hand side. And Chelsea get themselves another corner. So it will be Macario to send in this ball. More distance on it this time. And it comes off a Chelsea player as it's chased towards the corner flag by Mayra Ramirez. And Chelsea still keep their foot on the gas. The ball deep into the final third, but more concerningly, there is a player down in West Ham colours who perhaps may need some medical attention, which she is receiving right now. West Ham just having a discussion about this. Beaver Jones going out to just make sure everything's okay for her opponent, just consoling her as well. She must have just picked up a knock after that corner was taken. Macario just doing some team talking there to her side. And Millie Bright going in to join in, the captain. Just ensuring her players know what to do. And look at Bronze as well. Plenty of leaders in and amongst them. Of course, it was the 18, Anouk Denton, who found herself down on the grass following that slight knock. Of course, there are games going on at the same time. In the Women's Super League, Arsenal 3-0 up against Crystal Palace, which is a good result for West Ham because it keeps their 3-point gap still intact. Of course, it would have been a big ask for 12th place Crystal Palace to play Arsenal and get something out of that game. Just as much as it's a big ask for West Ham to do the same against their opponent today as well. But the throw's ready to be taken. It will be West Ham to take the throw. course, Tottenham beat Leicester earlier, so some positive results happening for West Ham, albeit it's not going their way this afternoon here in Dagenham. It is around the place as well, specifically in North London, as Tottenham beat Leicester 1-0 and Arsenal are beating Crystal Palace at their place as well. So North London producing some positive results for the side from East. Keeping Leicester below them too. Here's Bronze. Now Beaver Jones. Pass out towards Baltimore, but that's good defending by Denton. As now West Ham look to try and come forward. But that's a sloppy pass which Cuthbert intercepts. And now Bronze, as West Ham have done that on a couple of occasions, but will Chelsea make them pay? Good defending once again, edging it out towards Beaver Jones down the right. Here's Bronze in support. Bronze with the dummy. Back to the English right back. Here's Beaver Jones. Chelsea just controlling the ball, and that'll frustrate West Ham, as when they do get the ball in their own half, they then get bodies forward, but it's just the passing that's let them down. And then when Chelsea win it back, you can just see how they ooze quality when it comes to showing confidence with playing out from the back and playing it around their defence, just not allowing West Ham a sniff at winning it back. And once again, the play from Chelsea results in another corner. Interesting to see how many corners has happened so far in this game. As this is their seventh. One every 4 minutes is the average then. Although they have happened in flurries so far. As they hang in another dangerous ball. He goes towards Bright. I suppose the person who headed it wanted it to go towards Bright, but rather the goal. But Chelsea still keep the ball, but Siren goes in to try and help out and win it back for her side, and that's nice work there from Kirsty Smith as she plays it forward, but it's an offside, and that'll be frustrating for West Ham. Just as it looked like there was an element of momentum building, Vivasei is judged to have been in an offside position for the assistant referee, so Chelsea, as normal, just carry things on and resume as normal. Played in towards the centre circle, but West Ham have a slight numerical advantage here, albeit Chelsea are darting back, and that's just effortless from Cuthbert to just shield Purebell away from making that run forward. As we approach the half an hour mark, Chelsea enjoying their game here in East London. West Ham haven't showed the tempo or strength on the ball. And of course, they are playing a side that are in the hottest form. Here's Baltimore. She's tussling with Lee Meng-Wen. And it will be another throw-in for Chelsea. Of course, both Chelsea goals have come about 10 minutes apart from one another. And they look to try and keep that record up as we go into the 30th minute. They scored in minute 10 and minute 20. Now they're looking for a third in minute 30. It's a low ball. Good footwork by the byline. Oh, what defending that is. But it's still alive. Hit off target. But take about. Excellent defending there. On the goal line by Shalina Zadorsky to deny Chelsea of a third. And that would really have hurt West Ham. But they're making it easy. It was Aggie Beaver Jones who headed it from about 6 yards out, who must have thought she was on course to get her 5th goal in the WSL this season. But Zadorsky was there to deny her. Sent long again, but intercepted by Chelsea. West Ham get a throw. Smith. It's a heavy touch, which is then made the most of by Ramirez. Well, at the time it seemed like she was making the most of it by playing that forward pass. But luckily for West Ham, it went to nobody. Here's Denton, put under pressure by Beaver Jones, but it's a nice run in field as she looks to try and stretch it out to that right-hand side. But Chelsea's ability to just close West Ham down and win the ball back in good areas has been their downfall so far. Smith. There we go. But can they get a bit of fortune here? But it's an offside again, which will be so frustrating for West Ham because it was so tight. Of course, being an assistant referee is something I do admire, as the difficulty must be incredibly hard when you've got to be focused on where the ball is, but then also where the last player is too. But Serena Piobel looked to have been in a good position when she had the chance to bomb forward, but as you could see on your screen there, the assistant referee's flag was raised in milliseconds. Here's Bright. Ueki doing the pressing as Piobel is close to Chelsea on that far side. It's a sloppy first pass, which allows the Hammers to win it back. Denton with some green room that Beaver Jones is trying to close down. She plays it forward. Chelsea just win it back. She's trying to find Una Siren. Of course, West Ham unable to gather any real momentum so far. Perhaps that could be down to the fact that they haven't played a game in over a month, and it could feel like their season's restarted, which it literally has done. But it means the players then have to get used to playing with one another in this competitive game again. Of course, you can do lots of training, but at the end of the day, the best practice is playing games. So having to do this after 4 weeks of no games is always going to be tricky, and you couldn't get a harder opponent. Here's the goalkeeper, Hannah Hampton, who, of course, has played every minute so far for Chelsea. And, of course, only conceded 6 goals in the 10, which could be 11 games after today as well. So here's the number 14, Natalie Björn. Out towards Beaver Jones. They look to try and work it once again as Baltimore was up against Amber Tisiak, who was judged to have been fouled by the Chelsea attacker in Mayra Ramirez. Just showing some feistiness there. Of course, it was a slight shove with her left arm, but the referee still feels that was enough to see West Ham win the free kick. But West Ham won't care. Another opportunity to try and conjure something up of their own. A tight area once again. Look at that pressure from Chelsea. But West Ham tried to work through it through Una Siren. Now Piobel. They get a throw. It'll be taken quickly. It looks to be taken quickly by Denton as she's anticipating a run. And she tries to find one down the left. But more good defensive work by Chelsea. But they're unable to keep the ball. The assistant referee, I believe it went in the way of Chelsea. You can see Lucy Bronze exchanging some words with the referee. Perhaps frustrated at the original decision. It's a heavy touch. It works in West Ham's favour as Denton plays it in field. Now out to that right-hand side from Meng Wen. Ueki. Good work there from Bright, though. Her tall frame enough to just dispossess Ueki and then start an opportunity from the back for Chelsea as they look for a third. Just glances across the face of goal, begging for a player in all white to just be there to tap it in. But fortunately for West Ham, no player was there at the right place. Bronze. Taken quickly again. Edged forward. Here's Cuthbert. He was very influential in the opening 20 minutes, and that ball played in from Bronze isn't a troubling one, and it's routine for Schmemick to come and collect at her touchline. Here comes Gorry. Fairly reactive, though, from Pia Bell. And you could see the West Ham attackers there, when they get the ball, they're sometimes a bit starstruck when they've got it, without doing them a disservice, of course, but the pressure behind them from the Chelsea defence to just run in and try and win the ball back is why we often see West Ham not attack and not have any attacking momentum to try and really throw something at Chelsea. But the experience of Millie Bright, with, of course, Natalie Byrne next to her, is proving to be a formidable defensive partnership at the moment. That's cleared away by Tisiak. There will be another corner for Chelsea. No, it won't, as the assistant referee judges an offside to have taken place. So it will be a free kick. Just some orders as we approach the final 8 minutes of the first half. Of course, Rhiannon Skinner and West Ham will just be disappointed that they haven't really managed to make an opportunity count so far against this Chelsea side. As for Sonia Bampasto, she'll be happy with how they've managed to close down West Ham, but not for now, as this is a really good opportunity. West Ham, the closest they've come to getting through on goals. Serena Piobel finding room in between the two centre-halves of Bright and Byrne. Just after saying how formidable the Chelsea defence has been, the commentator's curse strikes once again, and then they get split open. And there wasn't even that much room between them. So the fact that Piobel was able to exploit that gives West Ham some hope, and it should do for the second half and the rest of this half as well, as it was neatly played in by Denton. Just unfortunately not enough to the left to try and find the back of the net. So here's Bronze. Back out to Byrne, who'll have to be wary now of the pressure that West Ham have just shown through Piobel. Here's Cuthbert again as she fancies one from distance. Similar range to her last strike, which led to a goal. But this time Schmemick was there to meet it. And it was a good save, parried away, not enabling Chelsea a chance on the rebound. So here's Bronze. As Chelsea will be worried after Piobel got forward there. It just shows West Ham, albeit 2 goals down, can produce those moments. Just need to be a bit more clinical when they get the chance. But of course Chelsea, could be seen as just a one-off, as they won't give away many opportunities like that. Bronze. Cuthbert again, who's made things tick when she's got on the ball. Just likes to drop in front of the defenders, but also have her part to say in the attack. Bright. Byrne. Now Cuthbert. West Ham just wanting to hold off here and stay organised, but that's a ambitious ball from Bronze as she tried to find Sandy Baltimore in that central point of the Chelsea attack, but once again just too much height on that for Baltimore to try and retrieve. She still tries to lead the line and put pressure on Schmemick alongside her attacking colleague in Mayra Ramirez. So here come West Ham. Just out from the back too. Of course. Score currently at 2-0. Last season, both games were 2-0 to Chelsea, home and away. Aggie Beaver-Jones, the right winger, the number 33 down there on the right of your screen, getting 2 goals. One in both games against the Hammers. And of course, she came very close to getting another goal against West Ham earlier on in this first half to try and make it 3-0 to Chelsea. Her header was blocked on the line terrifically by Shalina Zadorsky. Of course, it wasn't the only 2 times they faced last season, also in the FA Cup in the last 16, which, of course, West Ham are through to this time round again, but last year they exited the FA Cup to Chelsea, 1-1 at full time and then 3-1 in extra time. So they were good to have taken it to extra time against this Chelsea side, but obviously Chelsea have the depth and the ability to keep the other team so focused and tire them out. And that's what would have happened there. Chelsea are yet to lose against West Ham in the Women's Super League, since of course West Ham came into the Women's Super League in 2018-19. It's been Chelsea that have experienced most of the joy. Here's Denton. It looked promising when she fed it in towards Pierre-Bell, making a good run here, playing it out towards this right-hand side and retrieves that reverse pass. Here's Zadorsky. Challenged by Beaver-Jones. Beaver-Jones felt it should have been for Chelsea. Instead it will be a West Ham throw, and it'll be the Scottish right-back, Kirsty Smith, to take it. Only the 5 appearances so far this season. She throws it towards Ueki. The Siren had a chance, but West Ham see the ball fall back in Chelsea territory as they try to play it down this right-hand side. That's good work there from the number 20 to Katrina Gorry. Just a couple of minutes then left of this first half. A free kick taken on the halfway line from Bronze. Now Bright. Like to see a lot of the ball, Bright and Bronze. Often Millie Bright favours her right foot when it comes to her long range passing, and she's very good at it as well. Infield to Cuthbert. What a turn that is to take away Gorry from the game, but she's unable to find Baltimore, who carries on her run. Here's Beaver-Jones. She strikes it. Oh, what a goal that is. Aggie Beaver-Jones making it 3-0. Just minutes before the half-time break, and that will be a sucker punch for West Ham. Cuthbert on the turn here, taking out Gorry, feeding it through. West Ham getting slightly fortunate there with the back heel interception. But then the clearance is a poor one, just unable to clear their lines properly. Schmemick with her right arm stretched out, trying to save that strike. But there was no chance. You couldn't have hit that cleaner. When it comes off the post and goes in the back of the net, very rarely do you see keepers have the chance to keep that one out. And Rhiannon Skinner's team talk has just got that much more serious. Just before half time, they'll be disappointed not to have cleared their lines properly there. As you'd have felt, that's all they needed to do. But the clearance was an awkward one. But not for Aggie Beaver-Jones, who gets her 5th goal of the season. Just mentioning her record against West Ham, she's now scored 3 goals against West Ham in her last 3 Women's Super League outings against them. Here they come again for a 4th. Really trying to add salt into the wounds, as Bronze has time to deliver one in with her left foot. Cuthbert's there, but so's Ueki doing her defensive duties, and then it's properly cleared away. Taken down nicely by Pierre Bell just for a brief second, but well read by Bright. An exceptional defending there on the floor. Improvisation was brilliant there from the Chelsea skipper. And Beaver Jones going for another one. Fancying another strike from that range. And 2 Chelsea goals from similar positions have happened in there, in that pocket. Just a moment there as a player's down. But look at this from Millie Bright. Sliding in. Had to time that very well. Unfortunately, though, it looks like the West Ham player Viv Asseyi did receive a knock there. But she's all good to carry on as she's back up on her own 2 feet. As we're minutes into this stoppage time period, West Ham have a free kick or drop ball to take. Of course, their biggest win, Chelsea, was that 7-0 against Crystal Palace. West Ham have made it easy for them in this first half. They'll be hoping their fate isn't the same. That one real glimmer of hope from Pierre Bell was the closest they've got. But can they get close now? Not with that interception. Good work there from Björn. But Asseyi darts onto it, making a challenging run. West Ham just having to try and keep the ball around the opposition's penalty area, but it comes away with ease once again from Beaver Jones. Laid off by Ramirez. Now Beaver Jones in another pocket of room. Finding Ramirez. Chelsea hungry for a 4th just before the break. Oh, what a save from Schmemick. That's 2 brilliant saves she's made, and that was a really, really important one to deny Sandy Baltimore. Still alive once again as they'll try and hang a ball in. It's a low one. Could have been teasing, but Schmemick was alert to that low delivery and comes to a near post to collect it. West Ham trying to create another chance of their own, but it's just held up. Good defensive work from Beaver Jones, not allowing Denton a chance to run through. Siren holds off that pressure from Cuthbert well, playing it back to her defender. So look to try and make something happen from their right-hand side. Bright, once again, formidable as ever to clear it away. Will be a West Ham throw. Here's Lee Meng-Wen. She's got a couple of options. She throws it towards Gorry. It looks to be fouled. Cleared away. And a Chelsea throw this time. So after West Ham getting an opportunity to try and play with the ball in the opposition half, it's Chelsea that come away with it, as Siren is brave to head it back to her colleague. And then it's just tidied up by Tisiak at the back. Gorry. So many white shirts around them, and that looks to be the end of the action of the first half. It's that lady there who got Chelsea's 3rd that has made this halftime break that bit more sufferable for West Ham and made the challenge that much harder in the second half. But props to Erin Cuthbert as well, who struck in Chelsea's 2nd, got the assist for a lovely well-taken goal by Katerina Macario. And this is where it all began. Bronze, who found the ball. Cuthbert with a lovely, a deft pass towards Macario. First time finish, beating Schmemick. And that was a hard finish, but this one wasn't so much. Of course, Cuthbert needed the precision, but look at the room Schmemick's leaving to her left. To her right even. So much room, which Cuthbert was able to be the beneficiary of. And then a good save from Schmemick, of course. The positioning may have been questionable at points, but she certainly kept West Ham somewhat in this game. Kept Chelsea at bay to just the 3 goals rather than more. And look at that defending there. I believe it was actually Denton on the line to deny Chelsea of a third at the time. And just there as well, glancing across the face of goal. West Ham did have their opportunities though. They did come forward just on the one occasion, and it was Biabel who just struck it wide. Fed in nicely by Denton. And then as we look here, another smart save from Schmemick to just push it wide as well. Smith then clearing it away. But look at this turn from Cuthbert. Slight fortune as they lose sight of the ball. And then Beaver Jones is there to hammer it home for a Chelsea third. They looked hungry for more though. And they wanted a fourth. But a good stop at the near post from Schmemick denied Baltimore. And that's the end of the action for the first half. It ends at the break. West Ham 0, Chelsea 3.
Very dramatic. Bubbles, 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 Hammers! Let's go!
I would describe Cami and Pavi in 3 words, probably passionate.
First one I will use crazy.
They are both so funny, but Pavi is crazy.
Somos los transformes de West Ham.
The best.
Bye bye.
Come on, Hammers! Come on, Hammers!
They are good human. All the time they smile, and they are really good teammates.
They're 2 great people to have around the training ground, and they bring a different sort of energy into the team, so it's really nice having them.
O sea, la convivencia entre el equipo ha sido muy buena, estoy muy feliz con todo eso, se siente buen ambiente, se siente la ayuda, como que vamos Pavi, me hacen sentir en casa, entonces me la llevo muy bien con todas.
Desde el día 1 que llegué me han intentado ayudar, me preguntan si estoy bien, si necesito algo. La verdad es que ha sido muy bien el recibimiento y la verdad es que me llevo muy bien con todos mis compañeros de equipo.
They've both come on leaps and bounds since the start of the season when I first met them.
El bow.
Hair.
Food.
Hair. It's hair.
Espere.
Yeah, it was obviously super important to learn the language of the country where you're playing and living.
Yeah, every day is a ask to learn, and I think it's not easy. I just help them how I can, because I know I was in this situation also.
Your bicycle kick?
Chilena.
I can't even speak English myself, to be honest. Me and Amber have been Cami's English teacher.
Y ahora con mucho estudio, con profesor también de inglés. La verdad es que entiendo mucho más y puedo expresar un poco cómo me siento.
Cami came in obviously early in pre-season. She doesn't really speak that much English, but she's really trying.
I don't know. Tengo un calambre.
Ah, ese.
Calf, es gemelo. Very dramatic, you.
Sorry, Pavi, but Camila, I'm sure everyone will agree, she's taken to the classroom a little bit easier.
Con el inglés, me ha ido, o sea, ha sido muy difícil todo con el inglés, incluso en las clases con la teacher. Termino en la cabeza embombada. Es mucho para mí porque nunca había aprendido inglés.
Center back.
The pair of them together work quite well. As we saw in the classroom setting, they sort of bounce off each other's energy.
¡Vamos!
They both gave it a little go and had a laugh, so it's good to make learning fun for them.
¿Qué piensas de la victoria del West Ham? I'm very happy for the first win the season. Very good defending, very good attacking. Forever from bubbles. There bubbles in the air. Bubbles, bubbles, bubbles. Comers. Let's go. On forever. Bueno, igual.
Pues no, me llevo muy bien con la entrenadora. Ella siempre trata de entenderme y de hacerme saber bien las cosas, de explicarme. Tiene mucha paciencia. Incluso tiene unos audífonos que ella me los pone y me traduce. Ella habla en inglés y me traduce en español. Y entonces me hace entender todo más fácil.
She have the AirPods there for understand, so it's so funny. And sometimes on the pitch, she called the staff like señor, señora. That's so funny for us.
Even though there's the language barrier, especially with Pavi and some of the other girls, they still find a way of communicating sort of on the pitch and off the pitch, joking around.
She knows how we want to play, and that's important. Yeah. So I think with hand and body language we can explain everything.
Desde el primer día, como lo dije antes, han sido mis compañeros súper bien y por parte del club también han estado pendientes de mí, de si necesitaba algo en casa, si me faltaba algo, y aprovechando cada momento y disfrutando de esta liga también y de toda la gente del West Ham.
Esta liga, yo veo los partidos y yo digo, Dios mío, estas mujeres hacen ver todo eso fácil. Corren muchísimo, meten de todo, no. Esta liga, o sea, es muy élite, porque obviamente ya no voy a crecer, pero aunque sea, si hago pesas me veo un poquito más grande. Entonces sí, estoy muy feliz con esta liga y con todo lo que he vivido estos 4 meses, y creo que si llevo 4 meses, imagínense ya unos años, ya voy a estar así, volando.
Creo que es una de las mejores ligas del mundo y estar aquí representando al West Ham, la verdad es que me pone muy feliz, muy contenta.
Desde el día 1 que llegué en el West Ham, yo vine con un reto de darla todo por el escudo, de correr cada balón, o sea, literal, desde que llegué acá, el West Ham se han convertido todo para mí, porque es el club que confió en mí, que me dio esa oportunidad.
So she actually mentioned seeing herself, seeing similarities between herself and the working class people of East London, and that's why she feels she's a hammer at heart.
Even though they have a crazy side to them, they are really wholesome. Cami always wants to get everyone involved in everything she does. Pavi's really cute. I just want to cuddle her all the time, and yeah, she is very wholesome. Like, she will translate from Spanish to English about my ACL, and she'll come up and kiss my knee in the gym, and yeah, it's really nice to have.
Le ha ayudado bastante en cosas de la casa, en cosas quizás de horario, de comportamientos. Y la verdad es que, como dije anteriormente, es una chica súper predispuesta a mejorar cada día, así que soy un poco la madre.
Entonces me ha ayudado muchísimo, porque yo en Colombia todo me lo hacían, pero me toca cocinar la cena, me toca lavar mi ropa, me toca organizar mi cuarto, me toca hacer oficio, o sea, son muchas cosas que me ha tocado aprender a mi edad, pero pues gracias a Cami he mejorado muchísimo y me hace sentir mejor persona. Entonces, no, Cami, la verdad, I love you. Oh.
Happy New Year!
Hola.
Oh, it's okay. Exactly. There's no rush.
Hello. Hello. Happy New Year. Morning.
Hi.
I'm back.
Nice Christmas?
Yeah, it was great time.
Good afternoon, everybody. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Best wishes
for such an amazing year that we have ahead of us.
Meditate. Get into the zone. And he kept singing.
I finished now.
Make extra.
I'm actor.
Whenever you're ready, try to build strength and go, build, go, push, and rest. It's better than the previous one, but try to do your best, guys. Like, especially increase the activity. Smile! Hey! Yeah, time to run!
Is this one temperature in both? One each.
Yeah.
1-1. I was just playing to be fair.
I got it.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah.
That's it.
Ready? Let's go. 1. Good. 1. There. 2. In. Good. Nice. There. 1. Good. Good. Yes, mate. Good. You have to throw it a little bit wider, that's fine. Just want a little side step. Yes, better.
Nice.
Nice, good.
Nice, girls. Let's go. Come on, keep pushing. Up to. Good. Up and back.
Well done, Smudge. Well done. Well done. Yes, that's true. Well done, everybody.
So welcome back, everyone. The players back out onto the pitch of the Chigwell Construction Stadium. It will be Chelsea who kick us off underway in this second half. After an emphatic first half performance of pure dominance and control, they really made it look like a training match at times. West Ham, of course, on the other end, they had that one golden opportunity through Serena Piabel, who, of course, has one goal of the season. She was hoping to get her second there, and that would have been a good time to get a goal by halving the deficit. But then Chelsea did what all good teams do, and when they feel a bit of pressure from the away side, they go up the other end of the pitch and force a mistake even, but ultimately getting another goal, adding to their 2-goal lead to make it 3-0. Aggie Beaver Jones with her 5th goal of the season. And it's Chelsea, the league leaders, the league champions, to get us off here again in the second period. So a lot to say by Rhiannon Skinner. Chelsea, though, have just been so clinical. They've had a lot of opportunities at the same time as well. But they've just taken the majority of them, which is why they've got a seismic lead just halfway into this game. But that's a sloppy pass, and we didn't see many of those from Chelsea, but we did see a lot of that where they just win it back. But not for long, as Pia Bell sends in a first-time ball. She has another opportunity to put in a better one, and it's a first real strike with some power from West Ham. Katrina Gorry looking for her 4th goal of the season, blazing it over the bar following that ball from Pia Bell. And the first opportunity of the second half goes to West Ham. But that doesn't mean much if they can't find the back of the net. Of course, Chelsea scored from that range, or similar range even in the first half on 2 occasions. West Ham looking to try and replicate that type of clinical ability, but unable to. And here's Schmimick. Out to Tiziak, who of course did that brilliant goal line clearance in the first half. Pia Bell, who's popping up down this right-hand side. Of course, she likes to occupy anywhere around that front line, specifically on the wings. Saw her pop up in that left wing position and she had that opportunity. So she's fairly versatile. And there has been a substitution. Number 19, Shakira Martinez, who is coming on to make a West Ham debut after signing from Freiburg. So can she give West Ham fans some joy? Even a goal or a good performance from her in this second half can give faith to West Ham that they've got a good player for the second half of this season to try and push on and find themselves further away from the relegation zone and looking up the table rather than just below them. Of course, the game that Arsenal played against Crystal Palace, 5-0 to Arsenal in the end. So Palace having their goal difference dented by another 2 goals since I last updated you. -23 Crystal Palace have now compared to West Ham's -10, which is like another point really. Here come Chelsea. Aggie Beever-Jones looking to try and find Baltimore with some fortune as they have their first strike. Off target, it has to be said, in this second half. But if you just look there, the header away, which is anticipated by Beever-Jones, she manages to beat Martinez. A slight bit of fortune where Baltimore is then able to then just pull the trigger, but it's about a yard or 2 over the woodwork. Short goal kick taken quickly from Tiziak. So here's Gorry as they play it forward, looking to try and weave it between both centre-halves again, as Pia Bell looked to try and make that run in between both defenders. That one wasn't as successful as her first, but you can see what West Ham are trying to do, and they see Soriana Pia Bell as a real attacker to try and make things happen. Here's Sandy Baltimore from a fairly deep position compared to what we've seen her in this game. Allowed time and allowed to make that run into the box towards the byline. And Chelsea have another corner. Of course, a big narrative of that first half wasn't just the fact that they were being ruthless in front of goal. It was also the fact that they were dominating the statistics, especially that of the corner kicks. They've surely gone into double figures now, as they had about 7 by the half an hour mark. Can they make this one count, as albeit they've had a high quantity of corners, they haven't been able to make any of them of much quality, as none of them have led to a goal. And that one doesn't either. But there will be another opportunity for a corner kick. So here we are on this near side once again. Sandy Baltimore in close proximity to the corner kick taker, as is Katrina Gorry for West Ham. But it looks like it'll be sent in towards that 6-yard box. Bright towards the far post. Beever-Jones goes the unselfish route as she tries to pass it towards that near post, where she could sense there was another Chelsea player who would hopefully, for them, strike it home. But Beever-Jones could have maybe been selfish there and had the shot herself. But fortunately for West Ham, that move doesn't work out. But Chelsea still have a large grip on this game and on the ball now as they weave it over to that right-hand side. Bronze just trying to do some defending as she blocks out one of the West Ham players behind her for a pass. And now Schmimick with a clever chip pass to Tisiak, who will then send it forward. But once again, Chelsea just win it back, and they don't really have to do much to get the ball back. Beaver Jones close to Bronze, who will make the run around Ueki. Here is Beaver Jones, unable to take it past Denton. And now passed back by Zadorsky. Schmimek, better distribution, but Smith was caught under pressure there. And now Baltimore looks to make it 4, and she does. 6 minutes into the second half, and it's Chelsea who get the first goal of the second period. Schmimek, you could see the pass was a right idea, but perhaps Kirsty Smith just had a heavy touch which allowed Niamh Charles to run onto her, play it forward to Baltimore, who struck it with some venom. It even swerved whilst it was in the air. And West Ham United, it feels, are now out of sight of Chelsea. Clinical Chelsea on this cold afternoon in East London. Giving West Ham some frosty feelings to ponder over for the next week. Of course, they've got some big games coming up, including that FA Cup game, where that could provide them a bit of joy, given the fact that this game hasn't gone their way. But of course, when you come up against this opposition, this level of opposition, you sometimes can take it with a pinch of salt, but also you want to try and stay in the game and not get embarrassed. But it's hard to deny that West Ham are getting embarrassed, or aren't getting embarrassed here. And Chelsea have another corner. Coming from Baltimore. What a lovely back heel that is. Allowing Nusken on the underlapping run to try and hang in a ball. And once again, Baltimore is over there to try and provide a short option. But perhaps that's just to pull another West Ham player out of the penalty area. So Gorey close to Baltimore, but it will be delivered in. It was good distance, but no Chelsea player was there in the middle of the goal to latch on the end of that delivery. So it's back out to Hannah Hampton, who hasn't had to make a save so far. But here's Puebel. West Ham looking to try and gain some momentum now. Smith just playing into the hands of Baltimore as she made the run around the outside of Baltimore, but she didn't have to do much to win it back. And then Chelsea get a throw. And the assistant referee actually says it's in favour of West Ham, but from my view, it looked like it came off a West Ham player last. That being Kirsty Smith. But West Ham won't care as they have an opportunity to try and open up their account of 2025. But that strike is wide and never troubling Hannah Hampton, as Anouk Denton wanted to try and get on the score sheet and find her third goal of the season. It was ambitious, fairly off balance, as you can see her fall to the floor after the ball left her boot. But now Bright. It's like a Rolls Royce in that centre-half position, just switching play whenever she wants and finding Bronze with ease. Here is Bright again. Martinez trying to pressurise Bright, but once again, Chelsea just able to gain yards on their opposition. Here's Nusken. You can see that she was trying to find the run of Katharina Macario. Here she is again. As Chelsea have a chance to recycle. West Ham, of course, putting pressure on this Chelsea side when they're able to bring the ball into the West Ham half. You can see West Ham are trying to stick to their positions and halting any sort of Chelsea momentum again. But here they come down the right. Brighten some room, as she's found by her centre-half colleague in Björn. Then Schmemick, hesitant to come off her line, but it's cleared away. There's a good clearance there from Amber Tisiak, just able to prevent Chelsea from having another chance at Schmemick's goal. So far, Amber Tisiak has worked well in that centre-back role, especially for that goal line clearance. But they come again here, Chelsea, as they look for a fifth. But once again, Tisiak, exceptional defending on the floor, improvising well at the byline. Had to think fast there when, of course, you're on the deck. You don't really have much movement or ability to move and clear it away. So the fact that she was able to scurry it clear is testament to her willingness to defend and being brave as well. It's always risky when you're on the floor too, when you've got studs in and around your proximity. As it's sent in again, but it doesn't trouble Schmemick, and it's another West Ham goal kick. As you can see them trying to aim in that mid-centre part of the penalty area. Another goal kick, which will be taken short through Amber Tisiak. Of course, just the one substitution made by Rhian Skinner so far. Shakira Martinez, who came on for Vivaseyi. She did go down in the first half. And perhaps Rhian Skinner just wanted to ensure that she wasn't going to be put to the test with carrying that knock in this second half, when they've got some big games coming up as well. Of course, Tottenham away in the League Cup on Wednesday. A quarter-final there, an opportunity to have a really promising League Cup run. But here they come through Ueki. Good hold-up play as they play it forward up towards Vivaseyi, who of course is actually occupying that left-wing role. But here's Bright. Of course, Shakira Martinez will be happy to make her debut today. It's a big game for her after signing from Real Sociedad, trying to make her mark now in England. It's another throw. Just goes out in front of the benches. But here come West Ham, but unfortunately the referee blows her whistle just to bring play back. And that just prevents West Ham from gaining some yards on Chelsea there down their left-hand side. Of course, the free kick to be taken with Vivaseyi over this one. Denton, you can see in picture there, providing a short option, but by the looks of it, Asei is going to want to send this one towards the danger zone. Plenty to aim for, and quite a distance as well. But she manages to get enough on that, and it was a good delivery, but it was well dealt with by Chelsea. Kept alive by Gorry. Now Smith. Nice turn from the Scot. But they look to try and come away, Chelsea, and this looks fierce. But they've got the numerical advantage in defence, West Ham, as Baltimore is unable to beat them for a second time. That's brilliant defensive work there from Shakira Martinez. Just what you want to see from your latest signing as well. An attacker willing to dart back and defend, helping out Anouk Denton there to prevent the number 7, Mayra Ramirez, from going through on goal. So another free kick just outside their area as we enter the final 30 minutes. And there is going to be a substitution, the first for Chelsea, and it's going to be a triple change made by Sonia Bampastor. And off comes Sjorke Nusken. And on comes for her Maika Hamano. And that's the end of the action for Sandy Baltimore as well. And she looks to be being replaced by Guro Rieten. This is the first time the top goal scorer, Rieten, has come off the bench as a substitute. Often one to start, but now making her first cameo appearance off the bench of the season. And then, of course, she's joined by Maika Hamano as well. He's already looking to try and put pressure on Schmeimek as they loft it forwards. Down their left, Asei look to be tricky feet to keep it in. But Bronze will take the throw quickly. Of course, Baltimore leaving the pitch after getting her goal. Her third goal of the season as well. Clinical as ever, but here's Millie Bright once again. Looking to switch it to. And there's a cluster of Chelsea players over there on that right-hand side as Beaver Jones looks to try and send in a delivery, but it was more towards Schmeimek. Could have ended up being a shot on goal in the end, but she was alert to that threat too from Aggie Beaver Jones's delivery. But here's Bronze too. Looking to just bring it past Asei, but that's great work from West Ham as they managed to intercept it through Ueki. Pass through to Gori, just slightly to her right, which allowed Cuthbert to win it back. But then you can see the determination from Piobel to try and get it back for West Ham, but Chelsea come away with it. Down their right with Beaver Jones, looking dangerous up against Denton, but that's well worked by Denton. Just shows a bit too much of the ball there to the West Ham number 18. She's able to see the space to clear it away at the byline. But Chelsea still in their final third here. So Bronze again. As you can see, the number 21, Niamh Charles, just lurking outside of the penalty area. But that's a heavy touch, and Gori will take it towards the sideline. She then cleared up the field, and her plan worked out well as it came off a Chelsea player and out for a West Ham throw. But in the meantime, Mayra Ramirez is currently down. Of course, the trio of substitutions just then to confirm. It was Baltimore off, replaced by Oriten. Macario off for Hermano. Of course, Macario was the one to score Chelsea's first this afternoon. And then Nusken is replaced by Oriane Jean-Francois. Another ambitious player at Chelsea, of course. Jean-Francois. So is Riten. And that's just the depth Chelsea possess when they're able to bring these types of players off the bench. The medical attention still required. Just for a brief moment. Of course, with the Women's Super League resuming this weekend. You can see the other game as well at Manchester City versus Manchester United is the final Women's Super League game of the weekend. That's a kick-off time of 6:45. Of course, Chelsea will be looking over their shoulders to ensure they keep that gap between them and Man City as wide as possible. As they look to play it down the left once again. Bronze interception. Martinez was up there. Bronze 2. Forward in towards Cuthbert. She had a trio of West Ham players around her, but she worked through that tight area. And now comes Bright. Through to Niamh Charles. Bright with the switch over towards Bronze, who collects that. Cuthbert just in front of her, but Ueki was doing well to block off that pass, and Chelsea have no option but to pass it back. Bright again. Now Charles, who's looked to come over to this left-back position. They look to try and work it through Jean-Francois. Back to Charles, and now Bright too. course, another big game in the Women's Super League. Chigwell Construction Stadium hosting Everton next week. Of course, that's a kick-off time of 3 p.m. Everton currently 9th on 10 points. So just 2 points above West Ham. So that's a crucial game for West Ham and their season, as it is for Everton. So some big games. And then, of course, they've got Liverpool at home at the end of the month, which completes their January on the 29th in the FA Cup, the last round of 16. And that's a kick-off time of 7:45. So 2 big cup games coming up in the next 2 weeks before the end of the month in Spurs and Liverpool in the both different domestic competitions. And in between that is the big old Everton home game next Sunday. As for Chelsea, of course, they've got Durham on Wednesday in the quarter-final of the League Cup, the Women's Championship side coming to Kings Meadow to try and cause a cup set. But that'll be a very big ask against this incredibly industrious side. And then next weekend, a big game for Chelsea as they host Arsenal. And then, of course, they start February away to Aston Villa. And they have a chance to add to their advantage already. Guro Riten or Mika Hamano over this as they're close towards the ball. Will it be the left foot of Riten or the right of Hamano? Time will tell. But a free kick and a wall of 2 trying to stop this from pressurising the West Ham back line. Well dealt with, as it'll likely lead to a Chelsea corner, which it does. So one set piece leads to another for Chelsea. And they've got time to take it as they switch takers. You can see Cuthbert just in the D area there, lurking outside of the area. West Ham will have to be wary of her as well. And then it comes off a Chelsea player and West Ham get the goal kick. So another short goal kick, which is the tactic. West Ham, of course, like to play out from the back. And that's an obvious sign with the tactic of the centre half playing it towards the goalkeeper so that they're able to play like a sweeper keeper, if you like, when it comes to passing it around the back line. And so far, it's worked out well. Nice moves as things stand. As Lee Meng Yen plays it nicely to Gorry, who sees the sweet lofted ball out to Denton succeeded. Here is Gorry too. As West Ham look to try and get bodies into the box, you can see Smith making a run. Ueki goes alone. And the first shot on goal for West Ham is saved by Hannah Hampton as she comes down low to deny Riko Ueki of a 3rd goal of the season. She was up against Lucy Bronze, but she did well to control the strike. It was a controlled finish, but it was a good range for the goalkeeper as it just dipped into her grasp. Riten trying to get the better of Kirsty Smith. West Ham get a throw. As they're showing some glimpses here, West Ham, of their capabilities at going forward and trying to hit one back at Chelsea. But there's going to be 2 more substitutions made as the number 19, Johanna Ritting Kanarid, comes on. And she replaces the off-going Mayra Ramirez. So like-for-like change there made by Bam Pastor. Of course, Ritting Kanarid yet to score in the Super League so far. She'll be looking to change matters in the final 20 minutes. Good work there from Gorry. Chelsea frustrated as they believed they should have had the throw go their way. But instead it'll be taken by Kirsty Smith into the direction of Martinez. No real claret and blue around her, but she plays it back to Tisiak. Now here's Zadorsky trying to find Ueki, but Björn was there to prevent Ueki from latching on the end of that long ball from the West Ham centre half. So Bronze just trying the ball before she takes this throw. She's had an active game down that right-hand side. A lot of the play has come down that channel so far, especially in the first half. It's where a lot of the creativity was produced by Chelsea. And that's partly down to Lucy Bronze, who, of course, signed for Chelsea last summer after a good stint in Barcelona. Here Bronze comes again, winning a throw for her side as Ueki's interception sees the ball go out of play. Tried to clear it. Denton has another opportunity and plays it to Zadorsky, who has a safety approach first there. It's unable to leave their half and goes straight out for another throw-in taken by Lucy Bronze. Bright will receive this ball. Of course, the other player who just went off for Chelsea there in that last double substitution, Niamh Charles, who of course got the assist for Macario's goal and Baltimore's as well. So she had a good game down that left-hand side, and she of course was replaced by Ashley Lawrence, a defender. 1 goal in 9 appearances, and that was in the 5-0 win against Everton back in November. Hasn't scored since. West Ham get another chance to try and play out from the back. But that's good determination there from Cuthbert, one of the players of the match so far. Just been absolutely everywhere. And when she's got on the ball, she's made things tick and happen. And here she is again to showcase her capabilities. Over to this left-hand side to Ashley Lawrence. Now Cuthbert looking to spray it over to that right-hand side. It's a needed interception by Denton, but only goes as far as another Chelsea player. But this time it will fall back into West Ham possession. Another substitution made by Rhiann Skinner, and that's the end of the action for Lee Meng-Wen. She's replaced by Shannon Cook, who comes on to play the remaining 16 minutes here at the Chigwell Construction Stadium. Of course, the result may have not gone their way today, West Ham, but results have gone their way in other places. Leicester losing, Crystal Palace losing. West Ham in their crunch game against Everton next Sunday, with the kick-off of the same time as today at 3 p.m. Here come Chelsea, looking for a fifth, but that's good defensive work. But Beaver Jones has a snatch at it. And it's right into the possession of Schmemick, who throws it out quickly, eager to get West Ham up the pitch as soon as possible. That's a slightly heavy touch there from Pierbel. She just mistimes it, which allows Chelsea to try and get it forward, but they can't find the intended target of Guro Reitan, and instead it's Tisiak who wins it back. Schmemick into Smith. Here's the substitute Cook. Now goes the direct approach, but it's a slightly heavy touch from Martinez. Pierbel's there. Martinez just pushed off balance, but she kept up, unable to keep the ball there after the pressure from Ashley Lawrence. But here they come from the middle of the park, out towards Bronze. Now Bright has been an ever-present in the Chelsea squad this season. has played every single minute, just like her goalkeeper Hannah Hampton. And you can understand why. 2 assists as well for Millie Bright. With her ball-playing capabilities, you can understand that she's able to pick out a pass and make things happen for the attackers. Over to this left-hand side to Lawrence. There's Smith just pushing higher up the pitch for the final quarter of an hour potentially. Bright. Back to Lawrence. Got players in front of her, and that's a nice bit of play between her and the other substitute in Reditan, but she's unable to make the most of that as she plays it in field. And now West Ham look to try and come forward, but that first time ball's a poor one really. It was hopeful, trying to find Viv Asseyi, but instead Hampton's the one who welcomes that long ball. And now Chelsea look to create an attack of their own. It's hung in as Beaver Jones was there, but it's becoming fairly open now. Of course, with players getting fatigued, you're starting to see West Ham get the ball up the pitch, just maybe not making the most of it when they've got in possession, but certainly seeing Chelsea more open than they have been in the first hour. But this is a great opportunity. Side netting is where the ball hits. And it was the number 19, Johanna Ritting-Kanerid, who tried to find Chelsea's 5th. A lovely silky back heel towards her colleague. And then first time she knew exactly what she was doing when she got the return pass. And that'll be the end of the action for Pierre Bell. As she makes way for Manuela Pavi, who of course started the last game against Aston Villa, finds herself on the bench, now coming on to play the final 12 minutes here this afternoon. Taken shortly again. Bright. Industrious, but unable to keep the ball there. And this is an opportunity. You can see Ueki darting down the right-hand side. Just needs to make the right pass. She goes to her left. Here's Asseyi. Fires it at goal. Slight deflection, but it's still alive. And you could see them absolutely fuming, West Ham, feeling that they should have had a penalty. But were those reactions potentially detrimental to not getting a goal? As it's then hung in, and Hampton could see the threat that West Ham was starting to pose, and then she cradles that ball as she comes down to the decking. But you could see it almost fell to the number 9. In fact, it did. And number 7, but she was frustrated at the referee's choice to not blow the whistle and award a penalty. And then by showing her frustration and contesting with the decision, she was then unaware that the ball was falling straight to her, the number 11, Manuela Pavi. So just under 10 minutes to go. There's been an improved effort in the second half by West Ham. Of course, Baltimore got that 4th goal, but they've certainly not given up, West Ham, and continued to play the way they want to play. But when you come up against a strong outfit like Chelsea, it's always going to be a hard day at the office. As they feed it down the right, slightly to the left of the attacker there for Chelsea, which enables West Ham to win it back. Ueki with a silky first-time pass, but it was just misjudged by Martinez. Potential handball, but play resumes. It's getting quite scrappy at parts, really, with players falling into one another or colliding with one another when they're making challenges. Of course, Chelsea very physical and aggressive in the way they try to win the ball back. You see them going for slide challenges and willing to throw their body about for the benefit of the team. Here's Björn out towards Bronze. You can see Chelsea trying to make forward runs to attack at West Ham, but it's played back. Now Bright will collect once again. Good pressure there from Ueki, which cuts out the option for Ashley Lawrence. And then Chelsea just try to bring it forward, and here it is good, Ritan. Lawrence 2. Back to Bright, who's seen a lot of the ball. Of course, her colleagues must be so grateful to have a player like her in the team, to be able to pick out a pass to absolutely anyone. And they play it along the ground here, and they're gaining bodies forward. It's a dangerous ball. It's slightly spilled by Schmimek, albeit she parried it into a fairly dangerous area, but defence managed to clear it away for her and prevent that danger. But here from Ashley Lawrence, putting in the really dangerous ball. But Hermano was in a good position for the rebound, but was unable to make the most of it. Chelsea still trying to get it in their final third, but it comes off their number 33 in Aggie Beaver-Jones and goes out for another West Ham throw-in. Looking around at her options, Asei is around. There's Pavi just popping up in front of Bronze, but now Muritin Kanarid is just in front of her, blocking the option. So it goes to Asei, who has got Cuthbert onto her. So Asei's forced back to Schmemick. And that's a fairly weak ball. Could it be a handball? No. Return over towards the substitute of Hermano. And that's exceptional defending from Denton and Gorey, who had to be so careful. Schmemick aiming for Cook, but the pressure and the positioning of Ritan was risky for Schmemick to play it that way. But it doesn't matter, as the defenders do their job and scurry it away once again. Another corner for Chelsea. In front of their packed out away end, have made the trip from west to east. They'll be looking to try and celebrate a fifth goal as a result of this corner, but it's a poor delivery, but it's still kept alive by Bright as she waves her arms up. And you can see she's frustrated looking at the referee for not having won a penalty there. So under 7 minutes to go. West Ham just holding on here. Bright. As Björn plays it out towards Bronze. Bronze with the shimmy, but and the dummy too. Plays it back as Chelsea look to just retain the ball by passing it around the back. Just to keep tiring down West Ham. Here they go again through Lawrence, who's already put in one dangerous delivery. Can she do another? Finds Hermano, slightly heavy touch, but managed to sort out that second touch, which allowed them to keep the ball. And now you can just see them enjoying it around the back. What a turn that is from Cuthbert, but Uweki knew the danger was present and worked it well with the defending. But then gets beaten there as Cuthbert threads it across the face of goal, and it's an own goal. And it's been one of the better players on the pitch for West Ham in Amber Tiziak, who made such an important block in the first half. Unfortunately, is the player to see that ball go off her into the back of the net. It was good work from Cuthbert, who, like I've said, has made things happen. But if Tiziak didn't get there, Beaver-Jones would have. And it's just unfortunate for the West Ham number 5. Will be upset with that, as West Ham have put in a positive display in this second half at trying to withstand this Chelsea pressure. But Amber Tiziak, the Belgian who's played every minute of this season as well, she even signed 2 years ago to the last Monday. It was her 2-year anniversary at the club on the 13th of January, and she really cemented her place last season. So she's been a bright spark in this West Ham side since signing. But of course, when you find yourself with a result like this is where the manager wants to see the attitude of the players, and it certainly hasn't dropped. They've still been willing, but they've just come up against a juggernaut of an opposition. Here's Gori. Now I say, good feet there. As she feeds it through to Ueki. Unfortunate as her pass is ricocheted off a Chelsea player as they look to try and bring it forward through Hermano, but that's more evidence there from Katrina Gori to not give in and to win it back and to still show aggression towards this Chelsea side, even with just under 4 minutes left to play of the 90. Here they come again as they try to get bodies into the box. Plenty of substitutes making their way. Goes through all the intended targets and it's pushed out to this left-hand side as Riten will look to try and feed in another ball, but that's deflected off Kirsty Smith, who then bombs forward to try and provide an option down that right-hand side, who Martinez tries to find, but it goes out for another West Ham throw. And the referee is looking to have words here, and a yellow card is shown, the first yellow card of the afternoon, and it's awarded to Katrina Gori, who must have gone into the book for some words said, as there was no aggression on the ball shown, or no foul committed. Clearly just frustrations being shown by Katrina Gori, who's a bright spark in the midfield for Rhiann Skinner's side. So Smith trying to pick out Martinez. Cleared forward. Riten. Now Cuthbert. In towards Bronze as Oritin Canarid tries to provide an option down that right flank. See the press is being led by Manuela Pavi at times, especially down that right hand side, but West Ham just willing to hold off for now, to stay organised and not allow Chelsea another opportunity to attack. Slight confusion going on there between both players as it comes off Manuela Pavi, and now it's brought forward by Bronze, but that's a poor first time pass and scooped away by Shalina Zadorsky. So of course after this, as mentioned, West Ham will have to dust themselves down and get ready for a big game away at Tottenham Hotspur on Wednesday. What an opportunity that would be to have a really positive cup run in this campaign for Skinner's side. And of course they haven't played for over a month. Always makes proceedings rather tricky. But it's good to see the debutant as well in Shakira Martinez. Given some minutes as well to try and gel into this West Ham side. As it's scooped in from a wide position and it goes fairly deep, finding its way to Ashley Lawrence, who puts in another ball, plenty of pace on it. Then coming towards Bronze, she fancies an effort. It's cleared away, but not too far. The block was enough to not see it beat Schmemick. But once again, Chelsea with their foot firmly on the gas as Lawrence wraps her foot around it, and it results for another Chelsea corner kick. There from Lawrence trying to feed it across. Her deliveries have been firm every time she's had a chance down that left-hand side, but Bronze just scuffs it. Could have been going on target, but Shalina Zadorsky ensured that it didn't need to test Schmemick first. So another corner on this near side as we are now into the 90th minute. And once again, they try playing it towards that near post. Millie Bright's like that position in this game. When they've had their corners, you'll often find the Chelsea skipper occupying that near post position, either to maybe flick it towards one of her colleagues or maybe to just have a go from that near post. Tisiak showing too much of the ball there, but the referee judges Tisiak to have been fouled by the substitute Maika Hermano. So it's taken long. Ueki gets a header and it falls back towards Ashley Lawrence. Of course, League Cup action for both these sides. Durham travel to Crawley in the quarter-final. They'll be seeing this game and having to get themselves prepared for the fierceness that Chelsea show. But at the same time, I'm sure they'll enjoy the occasion as well, playing such a monumental opposition. Here's Bright. Riten. Hermano. Ueki and Martinez closing onto her. Slightly heavy touch by Hannah Hampton, which allowed Pavi to believe that she could maybe get on the end of that heavy touch and get a consolation goal for the Hammers. But in the second half, you've seen them play as a team, not give up, and carry on trying to play the West Ham way. Ueki trying to feed it forward. And of course, sticking to your principles can be beneficial when you're on a route to Women's Super League success, to try and find themselves higher up the pitch, sticking to their values too. Of course, their next league game at home to Everton next week, with the same kickoff time as today. Bronze with the throw, trying to find Beaver Jones, but the referee signals to a goal kick. And it will be Schmimick to potentially take this one. Of course, the centre-halves either side of her have enjoyed the passing, which they do now. Well, maybe not enjoyed, but that's been the favoured tactic for Skinner's defenders. That long ball is intercepted by Bright. Could they get a late consolation goal here as they feed it through? It's a nice idea, but the speed of their other centre-half in Natalie Bjorn was enough. Still alive, pulled across, and it struck from distance. Rattles the outside of the bar, and West Ham getting agonisingly close to opening up their account in the goal-scoring department in 2025. Well worked from Pavi, and then it was one of their players of the match today in Katrina Gorry who fired it towards that right-hand side, but it was just inches wide of hitting the back of the net. More good play from the Hammers there, showing signs of their never giving up attitude. Referee signalled for an advantage in the way of Chelsea. And here's Hampton. You can see Ueki down this right-hand side. And then Kirsty Smith just trying to mark their players rather than press in on Millie Bright. And that is the end of the action. The first game of 2025 for West Ham isn't the most glamorous, but they didn't give up. They showed that they're still capable of playing good football. And they'll look to try and kick on in their big games in this big week ahead. Of course, starting off in North London, away to Tottenham, and then back here in East London against Everton. Chelsea, on the other hand, were extremely impressive. They carry on their unbeaten run, still yet to lose a game since May last year. The only time they've dropped points was, of course, against Leicester. They really are relentless, and this was the start of their relentless action and behaviour this afternoon. A lovely weighted pass in towards Macario, who hit it home with some aplomb. Schmemick then trying to loft it towards one of her players, and then Cuthbert rubbing salt in the wounds after West Ham gave it away, slotting it home into that far corner. And then once again, Cuthbert on the turn. Tisiak trying to clear it away. And then Beaver Jones with a pick of the bunch of the 5 goals. A fine strike there from one of their top goal scorers. And then Schmemick again. Unfortunate to not have her pass retrieved properly by Kirsty Smith, and Baltimore made them pay by firing it home with her left foot. And here's the fifth. Unfortunate for Tisiak, as she was the unfortunate beneficiary to get on the end of that ball across the face of goal. But it ends here after the first game of the new year. West Ham 0, Chelsea 5. Have a good rest of your evening, everyone.